Welcome back, my duelist friends. Casual Duelist here. And before we get started with our deck, happy Spooktober, everybody. It's finally October. We made it. And so, with the exception of the Cyber Strike Structure deck coming out this month, I'm going to try to keep everything more Halloween themed. And in order to start that, and I'm sure that you guys already read the title, we're going to start off with an Evil Eye deck profile today. So, real quick to give you guys the list, we're going to be running 3 copies of Basilius, the familiar, the Evil Eye, 3 Catoblepes. Believe it or not, I've been trying to pronounce that like all week. It never got any easier. Also, a familiar of the Evil Eye. We are going to run 3 copies of Medusa, the Watcher of the Evil Eye, 3 copies of Sergio, Watcher of the Evil Eye. And then that's going to round out the 12 main monsters we're going to play. And then we're also going to run 3 copies of Skullmeister as our kind of like tech slot hand trap. He's going to help us chase down other hand traps that would try to stop us from, fully going off. So 15 monster card base. Next up, we're going to run 3 copies of Lurid Darkness because you're going to need to draw a little bit in this deck. 3 copies of Evil Eye Awakening, cool spell. We're going to use 3 copies of Paradola, which is the Evil Eye Domain Field spell. We are also going to be using Evil Eye Re-Emergence at 2 copies. We're going to have 3 copies of Evil Eye Repose. And just because it's going to be able to recycle itself a little bit, we're going to have 2 copies of Evil Eye of Selene. We're not going to use the other Evil Eye spell, which I'm forgetting the name of right now, but it's like upstairs right now, sorry. We're going to go just with Selene. And then we're going to run a little trap heavy today. So we're going to have 3 copies of Evil Eye Defeat. We're going to be running 3 copies Evil Eye Mesmerism. And we're going to run 3 copies Evil Eye Retribution. Again, this is meant to be more of the casual version. Of course, you could do something with Unchained. You could pair this off, make it a little more competitive if you like. But I thought we'd start off a little easier this month. And let's get that extra deck. And again, it's mostly tech. So there's going to be a lot of one-ofs, like 1 of Appaloosa, 1 Barricade Board Blocker, 1 Boral Sword Dragon, 3 copies Gorgon Empress of the Evil Eyed. We're going to run the single IP Masquerena, single Cerberus, single Phoenix, single Unicorn, single Saryuja Skeldred, single Triple Burst Dragon, and then 3 copies of Zerziel, Ruler of the Evil Eyed. So kind of a mixed grab bag in the extra deck. Still kind of fun, still really fun to play around with. And I hope that you guys enjoyed the deck list. So if that was all that you guys came by for today, then I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch me stumble over all of that because that was awful. Additionally, if you do like this and if this content is enjoyable for you and you'd like to support the channel, the easiest and best way is to maybe hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done that. And if you have, maybe just let some of your friends know about the channel. Best 2 ways for us to grow here. But outside of that, if you were just here for the deck list, seriously, guys, have a great day. And I'll see you guys on the next video, probably tomorrow when we do some test hands. They're probably going to be bad. Because, I'm probably not going to sit there and shoot it 20 times to get a good break on the opening hand. So I apologize now, but I'll see you guys then. Everybody else, let's talk over what we're doing with these cards. Because you might have been like me and just been totally unfamiliar with these to start with. And we're going to learn you a thing or two. So our first character is Basilius. And again, we run 3 copies of him. He's a nice little 3-star. He's not too strong offensively. He's a good defense option at 2k defense. And like all the other Evil Eyes, it's going to be a Dark Fiend. Going into the effect, if you control an Evil Eye monster, you can special summon this from your hand. Gives him kind of an extender quality this way. Really lets us go into our link builds. You can only special summon Basilius, the familiar of the Evil Eye, once per turn using this method. During the main phase, you can send 1 Evil Eye spell or trap from the deck to the graveyard, which is kind of cool. It's Foolish Burial Goods effect. And you can only use that effect once per turn as well. This one will be a hard once per turn for both of these effects, but again, he's really cool, and you're going to see why he's so good later. That guy, because I don't want to stumble and fumble over that twice, Again, not terribly strong, 600 by 19, so better defensively. You can target one Evil Eye spell or trap that you control once until the end of the next turn. That card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So again, this is going to work sort of like what Barricade Board Blocker is going to do for us. And this will allow you to protect either of your continuous spell traps or, of course, your field spell. If you control an Evil Eye monster other than same name while this is in the graveyard, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. Each effect, again, hard once per turn. And what we're seeing here is, again, another decent extension effect, allowing us to get in another play afterward. So, very cool. We do have 3 copies Medusa, and what is she doing for us? Being the first average stat card at 14 by 16. When this is normal summoned, basically giving it starter status, you can target one Evil Eye card in your graveyard except same name and add that card to your hand. Now, again, that's important because we're not saying it's a spell, it's a trap, or a monster. It just needs to be Evil Eye. And then if this card is equipped with Evil Eye Selene, as a quick effect, we can target a monster in the opponent's graveyard and banish it, using this effect only once per turn. And then once per turn during the next standby phase after this effect was activated, banish one card in your own graveyard. Again, this will give you some moderate control. It'll allow you to interrupt certain cards like Monster Reborn, World Legacy Succession. Anything that's really trying to recycle from the discard pile, you'll be able to actually take a quick effect snipe out and do a disrupt. So it's not terrible, but it does have some limitations. And then there's again, seriously, just a stat flip. The first one was 14 by 16. This one's going to be 16 by 14. Sergio. And when he is normal summoned, you can add one Evil Eye card from your deck to the hand except same name. Again, this one's actually like kind of your go-to because he's going to help you set up everything that you need to do. If it is equipped with the Evil Eye of Selene, as a quick effect, you can target one special summoned monster your opponent controls and destroy it. You can only use this effect once per turn, and once per turn during the next standby phase after this effect was activated, destroy a card you control. So again, and I want to say this is actually going to work out pretty well with this guy, being that you can go ahead and make one of your cards not be... okay, that's an opponent's card effect, so no, it would still be able to be destroyed by Sergio. But this will allow you, again, maybe to disrupt an opponent's summoning chain by setting up Sergio with the Evil Eye of Selene. And again, he will be able to gather that immediately by his own effect. So, very cool card. And again, I like the way he looks. My friend actually lent me most of his cards to do this profile. And of course, he had a secret in 2 Ultras. But I probably should have swapped it out for another Ultra just to make it look the same. We are running the Skullmeister again. When a card effect is activated in the opponent's graveyard, which would be, again, cost for a hand trap is to discard it, then the effect will activate. So where is it activating? It's activating the graveyard. Skullmeister can go after hand traps that way. Send this from your hand to the graveyard and then negate that effect. So again, once you deal with cost, you will realize that Skullmeister is going to go ahead and chase down some of those hand traps. So again, we can play through Ash, we can play through Effect Veiler. And again, that's going to make him very good. Again, he's going to be a Dark Fiend, so that's going to help us with the Allures of Darkness, which obviously you guys see now, which is draw 2 cards, banish a dark from your hand, and if you can't banish the dark, then you have to drop the whole hand. Again, we're not really setting ourselves up to where that's going to be an issue. We are using the 3 copies of Awakening, normal spell card here, special summon an Evil Eye from your hand or the graveyard, which is actually very important. It's like having 3 Monster Reborns for you. Or if Evil Eye of Selene is in the spell trap zone, you can special summon one from your deck instead. So again, this is like a crazy good card. It can help start combinations or extend through them. It's totally situational based on it, but it is definitely worth running 3 of, and obviously we maximize that. We do run the 3 copies Evil Eye Domain Paradola. When this card is activated, you can add an Evil Eye monster from your deck to the hand. And again, this is sort of like what I do when I play my Subterra Guru control deck. You know, if we had Terraforming in here, I don't think we put it in here. But if we had Terraforming, like Terraforming gets you Paradola, Paradola gets you Sergio, Sergio gets you Eye of Selene. And so like one card gains you 3 cards and actually starts off a pretty good loop for you. And that's just the first sentence of this card, so let's keep going. Once per turn during damage calculation, if your Evil Eye monster is attacked while Selene is in the spell trap zone, so it doesn't have to be the one that's actually equipped, you can make the battle damage you take from this battle also inflict to your opponent. A little bit of a double-edged sword for them, but usually not too big of an issue. Just kind of a mild annoyance. If this card in the field zone is destroyed by a card effect, and again, this could be Sergio's effect, you can target one Evil Eye monster in your graveyard and add that back to your hand. You can only activate one of these per turn. So again, a little bit of restriction, but it gives you like 3 or 4 decent effects and can be part of just starting and setting up a whole field. So very cool. We are running the 2 Reemergence. See, I got it right that time. Again, normal spell card, and what is it going to do for us? It's going to special summon a familiar of the Evil Eye as a token. It's just a 1-star 400 by 400. Or if you have the Eye of Selene active somewhere, you can special summon 2 tokens instead. And then for the rest of the turn after this resolves, you cannot special summon except for Fiends. Again, this will help you go straight into your links. I didn't put too much emphasis on this. I thought 2 was more than enough. Because, again, you're going to lock yourself into Fiend plays. So it's a little bit of give and take right there. But, again, this will let you even get into all your nightmares. They should all be Fiends. You can banish this card from the graveyard. Your opponent cannot target Evil Eye spells or traps you control with the card effects this turn. You can only use each effect once per turn. And again, so it's got a kind of a cool like recurrence effect coming from the discard pile. Nice little protection. We are going to run 3 copies Repose. This is actually really good. When you activate this card, you can banish one Evil Eye from your graveyard, draw a card once per turn after damage calculation. If your Evil Eye equipped with Eye of Selene attacked an opponent's monster, you can banish that monster. So again, if you're trying to push through defense, that's fine. You can still banish the card. Or if you just have to, suicide KO something, this is still an option for you. If this is in the spell trap is destroyed by a card effect, and again, this could be your own card effect, so Sergio can do this as well. You can target up to 3 of your banished Evil Eye cards, return them to the graveyard, and you can only activate one of these per turn. And again, I want to say Basilius was hand, so that other guy is the one that can be special summoned back from the discard pile, and it'll allow us to recur that effect multiple times as well. And then we got to talk about the Evil Eye of Selene. Obviously, the whole deck bases around this one equip spell. So equip only to an evil-eyed monster. It cannot be destroyed by battle or by your opponent's card effects. So again, we could just run into things, take some damage, and then go ahead and banish up their monster. Each time you activate the equipped monster's effect or activate another Evil Eye spell trap, the equipped monster gains 500, and if it does, you lose 500. And the attack gain is permanent, even if this card leaves the field. So that's kind of broke. If this is in your graveyard, you can pay 1,000 life points and banish an Evil Eye spell trap from your graveyard, except Selene. Set this card, you can only use this effect once per turn. So again, 2 is more than enough. We have enough ways to get this to our hand, and additionally, there is more than enough life points for you to go ahead and bring this back once or twice. Plus the fact that you're going to be able to banish out your opponent's monsters while you're attacking into them and knowing that your monster is going to stay. And again, if they attack your monster while Paradola is on the field, you can also make them take that battle damage as well. This is what makes this such a fun, very budget-friendly, at least for the main deck with the reprint Sergials, very budget-friendly little Halloween-themed deck. Let's get into those traps now. So the first one we're going to use is 3 copies of Defeat. So if you control an Evil Eye monster, target 1 monster on the field, or 2 if Evil Eye Selene is active. Return those cards to the hand. You can only activate 1 of these per turn. This is Compulse or Double Compulse. So again, the more that we play into the deck that we're playing, the more we lean into the Evil Eye of Selene, the better the effects get. And this is super good at breaking combos. Like, it's not even funny. We do have the continuous trap Mesmerism. Again, we're going with 3s. When your opponent special summons a monster or monsters, activate this by targeting 1 of them in attack position with less attack than an Evil Eye monster that you control. Take control of that monster. When that monster leaves the field, destroy this card. While Evil Eye of Selene is in your spell and trap zone, the targeted monster is also considered to be an Evil Eye monster. You can only activate 1 of these per turn, and if I'm not mistaken, this is like Crackdown, except I do believe we can still use the monster's effects, because I don't think it said it negated them, which is kind of fantastic when you guys really think about it. And again, since we're going to be able to turn them into Evil Eyes, we get some more effects just based off that. And then we're running 3 of the counter trap, the Evil Eye Retribution. When a spell trap card is activated while you control an Evil Eye monster, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. If Selene is active, this card's activation and effect cannot be negated, and you can only activate one of these per turn. So again, this could be very good if you choose the right timing, the right spell or trap. In this case, it's usually going to be a spell, let's be honest. You're going to just be able to just frap out one of those spells, watch it fizzle, and just totally take control again. So it's kind of a control-themed oriented build. It's kind of got a little bit of a combo to it. It's just fun. And then moving over to the extra deck. Again, a lot of these we're going to be able to skip right over because we know these guys. So like Apollosa, 4 or 2+ monsters, different names, no tokens, can't use our tokens. Couldn't use the tokens on that turn anyway because we'd be locked into Fiends. And again, when monster effects are activated, we can go ahead and start, negating those. Barricade Board Blocker, we're really using this for both effects here. So if this is link summoned, you can discard a card during the end phase of their turn, add 1 continuous or field spell back from the discard to the hand. We can do that. And if we do, we can actually put that guy into the discard pile, loading him. We could also toss the Evil Eye of Selene if we're willing to take the 1,000 life points to get it back. Put that back on the field. So there are ways where we can mitigate the costs here and actually make this guy set up another play. Additionally, you can use that effect only once per turn, but also face-up spells you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, further protecting the Evil Eye of Selene. Should be, yes, face-up spells. So it's going to be continuous and equips. And then, so that's going to be the Selene, that's going to be the Repose, and that's going to be our field spell Paradola. So you're actually going to get triple protections in there, not counting the card effects from the rest of everybody else. Boral Sword is going to be your link 4, trying to swing over things. Again, I don't own an access code talker. My friend didn't own an access code talker. This was the next best thing. Gorgon Empress of the Evil Eye. Now, this is really cool because this is it's a link 2, points up, down. 2 monsters, including an Evil Eye. Gains 100 attack for every Evil Eye card with different names in a discard. So again, the later in the game that you play this, the stronger it's going to be. It starts at 19. And really, that means it's going to start at least 2,000 because you need at least 1 Evil Eye to go forward. And if we play the spell just to get the 2 tokens to generate this monster in the first place, that still counts as our 1 card. And then, while this card is equipped with the Evil Eye of Selene, we get the quick effect. We can target an effect monster the opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of the turn. So it is free effect Veiler without costing hand. You can only use this effect once per turn, and once per turn during the next standby phase after this was activated, destroy 1 monster this card points to. And another thing that this can do to help mitigate the costs, it points up, guys. We can just go ahead and snipe our opponent's monster. So we actually get 2 things out of that. Again, we maximized the Gorgon Empress. We just went ahead and ran that at 3. IP Masquerena. I think you guys know why IP is in here. This is for the turns where you just want to set up the link plays for your opponent's turn. And again, the monster that is created using this cannot be destroyed by the opponent's card effects. So again, a little built-in protection to help it along. Again, all the nightmares are fiends. So again, even while we generate those tokens, we can go ahead and generate the nightmares. And again, each one of their effects is activated by discarding a card. And so again, we can load the discard pile with that guy or the Eye of Selene. And again, we're just mitigating the costs to get the effect and still going to move forward with our plays. If it's Cerberus, you discard to destroy a special summon monster the opponent controls. If it's Phoenix, you destroy a spell trap they control. And if it's Unicorn, you get to seal a card back into their deck. They get the additional effect that if they were co-linked, then you could also draw a card afterward. That's fine, whatever. We usually don't end up with that luxury. Saryuja's in here for the fact that, again, we do get to steal some of our opponent's monsters. So this is sometimes going to be a possibility. And it'll also help you get more summons off with its effects. So again, these effects all gain as long as you can create it using that amount of monsters. So if it's at least 2, you'll get, if a monster or monsters is normal or special summoned to any zone this points to, that monster gains 300 AD. If it's 3, you get that plus. Once per turn during the main phase, you get special summon 1 from your hand. And if you use 4 different names, you can, when this is link summoned, draw 4, place 3 from hand to bottom of the deck in any order. So again, it's best if you can do all 4. This one doesn't exclude the token the way Apollosa does. But again, you won't be using the token more often than not because the token would have to survive a turn because this guy is actually a dragon. So as cool as he looks, not a fiend. We are using Triple Burst Dragon. Again, this is 2+ monsters, no tokens. Once per turn during a damage step when a spell trap or monster effect is activated, quick effect, negate the activation. If it attacks defense, it can inflict piercing, and during the main phase, except the turn this is a special summon, you contribute this. Target 1 link 2 or lower in the graveyard, special summon it. Then you can special summon a level 4 lower dragon from your hand. That's not going to happen, but you might be able to recur your IP Masquerena or one of your nightmares or something. So that's kind of a thing. Mostly the first effect here. And then the last character we're using, we're going to maximize out Sergio. Again, I get tongue-tied while I'm playing because the S and the Z are just a nightmare for me. And he's ruler of the evil-eyed. Very cool art. This is definitely the powerhouse boss within the deck archetype. It does have 2,600 attack points. It is 2+ evil-eyed monsters. It has to be all evil eyes to make this, which is another good reason for our continuous trap being able to snipe one of our opponent's monsters and turn it into an evil-eyed. When this is link summoned using a monster with 2,600 or higher attack as material, and again, depending on what we just took from our opponent, that could be great. Then it can make a second attack during every battle phase. So this guy is already big. Now he can attack twice. What else does he get? If this card is equipped with the Evil Eye of Selene, like every other Evil Eye, we get a quick effect, and that is target 1 card the opponent controls and destroy it. So nice little spot removal. And now that's going to come with a cost. You can only use that once per turn, and once per turn during the next standby phase after this effect was activated. Negate the effect of 1 monster this card currently points to. Now, what's cool with setting up chains on your next turn is if you have this and Sergio, you can negate Sergio's effect by going S as link 1 and Z as link 2. Link 2 resolves first, obviously, which will allow us to negate that. Now, we won't be able to use S's effect that turn because all of his effects will be negated, but we also won't have to pop one of our own cards. So, little give and take, guys. I do hope that you guys enjoyed that. That was a little long-winded. And I do hope to do just a couple little test hands, do some basic plays, and have that out for you guys tomorrow. Again, happy Spooktober. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.